and welcome to the Barrel Room Podcast, your front row seat to the world of whiskey and bourbon. I'm your co-host, Brian Bisking. In every episode, Kenny Gales and I are pouring up something worth talking about. From small batch standouts to big label legends, we sip, review, and break it all down one pour at a time. We'll talk tasting notes, tell stories, give the occasional review on real-life experiences, and every now and then bring on a special guest from the industry to share a great story along with a great bottle. This podcast is made possible by a generous support of our sponsors. Fallen Brothers Crafted Spirits, crafted in honor, shared in remembrance. The Barrel Room Bourbon Club. Pull up a chair. We're waiting for you on the inside. And Grillo's Chop and Barrel, where great whiskey meets great meat. So have yourself a pour, sit back and watch, or listen as we dive into this week's episode of the Barrel Room Podcast.
Don't forget outside and share.
Welcome to the Barrel Room Podcast. Excited for you guys to join us again tonight. We got a special guest tonight. We got Joe Maui from Maui's Liquor, which is in Cottelville, Missouri. If you haven't been there, I would highly suggest you check it out, especially if you're a bourbon guru. They got a great selection of not just bourbon. My wife got a bottle of wine there the other night called Ep.6. It is a Pinot Noir and Rosé mixed or blend, and she says it's really good. Actually, yeah, she's a Pinot Noir girl in the winter, and then like a Rosé in the summer, and she said it was really really good.
Yeah, so we will work with like smaller boutiques to get these unique bottles of wine, and that you won't see a Snug Soul wine or anywhere else.
Gotcha.
Where is that one from?
I believe it's from Italy.
Italy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when she bought it, I was like, okay, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
You know,
That goes along with your Virgin Cruise Line.
Yes, that's right. That's right. So, Joe, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell the audience a little bit about you and kind of your store.
So we're located in Cottelville. We've been there about 4 years now. In August, we bought the store blind.
Oh.
Like I was in the gas station industry with my family for 10 years prior to that, and during COVID, I was just burnt out. We were working like 20 hours a day.
Oh, geez.
7 days a week, because at that time you couldn't fire anyone.
Mm-hmm.
The unemployment cash was more beneficial for employees, so they were just calling in. So we would literally go home, lay our heads down, get a call, this person didn't show up. So between me, my uncle, and my dad, we would just get up all hours of the night and just go to the store to go cover it.
And you're not kidding. I mean, during COVID, it was more beneficial. The government was paying people unemployed more money than if they went and worked.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you?
It was $600 plus 28% of your weekly pay.
Wow.
So at gas stations, clearly.
Clearly, yeah.
Now they're making
or a fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
Or any of those kind of entry-level roles.
Yeah. So because of that, like with the nonstop grind, one day I just told my dad, because we were in Indiana at that time, I was like, Dad, I'm done. I want to go back. And he was like, okay. We looked. I literally put a bid on it sight unseen.
Wow.
Just because I knew exactly where it was. And from there, we grew it to what it is today.
So when you bought the building, what was in there before you? Or was it just raw?
It was not raw. It was a business there. They were there. It was called Number One Spot.
Okay.
He was there for about 4 years prior. And it was nothing crazy going on. It was just like a typical store you would see in like North County. Like he had everything you would think that would be in a North County store, because that's where his other business was.
Okay.
And
so it was a liquor store?
It was a liquor store, but it was ran in like his other store in Florissant, which did not meet up with the standards of Cottelville.
Sure.
So once I got involved, we stripped it all apart. We started working with John at the Rack House.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And his souverain at the time, he would give me the menu. And from there, we started growing our wine selection. And there, we started growing our bourbon selection and going on to Bourbon Society and getting more information off that. Because when I took over, we only had 2 shelves. So about 8 feet of just bourbon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was...
And now how many you got?
Now it's about, I think, 108 feet of just bourbon.
Yeah.
The entire back wall.
COVID probably helped that out, growing the bourbon side of it.
So I was after COVID.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I was August of 21. It was just the end of COVID.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like we just had Mike Grillo on previously to the show, and he's talking about, he got started right basically around that same time frame. And he's like, yeah, when I first started, I think I had like 30 different, bin numbers for bourbon, and now I have like 250.
Yeah, it's nuts. I think the SKUs, I think we counted, it was like 1,000 something SKUs.
Holy
Of all different bourbons and stuff we brought in.
Well, the cool thing about the store, if you guys that are listening haven't been in there, they have a very wide selection of stuff that you won't get at like a Deerberg's or a Schnucks or somewhere like that. They have a very wide selection of different bourbon that you can't just get.
Yeah, so we'll work with, again, smaller distribution companies. So Cry Eagle out of St. Louis, they just picked up Old Louisville, Buzzard's Roost, 13 Mountain, and like 4 or 5 other ones that have not hit the market yet.
So all good brands, for sure.
Yeah, well, Kenny knows this, but I got an Old Louisville 8-year bourbon from Mike Grillo at Grillo's Chop and Barrel. And I told Kenny this the other night, and he didn't believe me. I would take that bottle over any bottle I have on my shelf. Yeah, and I got some good bourbon up there. But it is
thoroughly surprised when you brought that bottle.
It is killer. I mean,
very good bottle.
You had it at your store when I was in there on Saturday, and I decided to get the Pursuit United and the Frank August.
Yeah.
But I saw it and I was like, oh, I should just buy it too. But I was with my wife, so I could only buy a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get that.
Otherwise, I'm in trouble.
Honestly, I think they're a sleeper, man. Old Louisville makes some really good stuff, and the Bourbon Society that you guys were a part of. Do you want to talk about that pick you guys did with them?
Yeah, so we did. Again, I love working with the Bourbon Society, so it was like a last minute call. They were like, "Hey, Joe, we got this pick. We would really love for you to have it." And I was like, "Okay." They're like, "Do you want to know what it is?" I'm like, "No, send it in." Like, we'll figure it out once it gets here. So it was a 8.5 year, 95% toasted rye from MGP. They actually, it's technically a 9.5 year. Because it sat for an extra year. When they picked it, it was March of 2024.
That's right.
And we didn't get it in the store till May of 2025. Gotcha. So technically it's 9.5, which it made it a little bit more viscous. It was more cocoa in it, a little bit more mint as well.
Yep.
But it's been a fantastic pick for us. But since we're trying to get rid of all of our store picks to make room for, like, we got Rare Character coming. We might be doing another one in a few months that we're trying to do a blowout sales on them right now.
Yeah, so if you haven't had the toasted rye from Old Louisville, Maui's Liquor in Cottelville is running a sale right now, $25 off the bottle. I think the normal price was $119, and
yes,
and you got $25
I think it's
off.
$94.99
$94.99 right now.
$94.99.
Only 28 bottles left. So
Yep. And once that's gone,
27 because I'm
You're
getting
gonna
leave it to Kenny to steal one from you guys.
Yes.
But
Yeah, we'll take care of it.
That's right. Well, talk to us a little bit about, so you got the store in 21.
Yep.
And talk about the journey. Like, how did you, take this idea that you had, right? You were in the gas station business, and then build with the Rack House, build like the following you have for this like great wine, great bourbon.
So I didn't know anything about bourbon. I drank Tito's and Sprite. And when I got in, everyone's like, "Oh, do you have Eagle Rare? Do you have Blanton's, E.H. Taylor?" I'm like, "Yeah, we got that stuff. $200 right there, no problem. You want it?" But then people started talking about joining the Bourbon Society. So once I joined there, I could see what they could actually do to some liquor stores. But I didn't view it as that. But we viewed it as that is where the market is headed. And from there, we started doing way more research between me and my cousins, because my parents are traditional Indian parents. They're not going to care what the history is, what this is going to sell.
Sure.
Is the question.
Yeah.
So we started doing a lot more research, and from there, we started collabing with the Rack House, and then we collabed with Ambush. And then Zach got me introduced with Drew and James, and then we started doing collabs with them. I think in a year we did 6 or 7 barrel picks with them alone.
Wow.
But the main focus was that, like, bourbon is the hot topic right now. Let's focus on it. Let's figure out a way to get people good bourbon at an affordable price. And not necessarily like they only have to drink Blanton's or Eagle Rare. Because at the end of the day, like you just said, Old Louisville is a fantastic product. But it just gets overlooked.
It does.
Because you can put that up against any bottle.
100%.
Yeah, and I think people get stuck on the hype of like some of those allocated bottles, like from Buffalo Trace and stuff like that. And there's so many other brands out there that make phenomenal products.
And transparently, I mean, Kenny, you were the one that really turned me on to all the other different brands. I mean, we've talked about on the show a million times. I've always been a bourbon guy, but I always went with the things that you heard about, right? That you saw a commercial of or whatever. And it wasn't until probably a year ago that I started venturing out and trying different bourbons and like, well, it's gone now, but I had a Middle West bottle up there. Mm-hmm. Fantastic pick out, and they're out of Ohio.
Yeah.
You would never
they're making good stuff too, and their own distillate too.
Yeah. So. And it's like, wow, that's, you don't hear about them, but it's a great bottle.
Yep. It's just like Green River. Like when someone can't get a bottle of Weller Green Label, we suggest the Weta to them. The Blue Label.
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic replacement. Yeah, it's not the same thing at the end of the day, but it's a great substitution.
Yeah, but for the price point, you can't beat it. I mean, and the resurgence of Green River, I mean, they're doing some really good stuff right now. And everything they make, I mean, their foolproof is freaking phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. The Green River foolproof is probably one of my staples. I always have to have a bottle of it. It's probably, like, if I'm just sitting here by myself, it's probably what I drink. And it's like, what, $49.99 or $50 for a bottle of it?
The foolproof, it's about $46, $47 bucks.
And it's, what, it's 117 proof?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 117 proof, and it's smooth.
Great spice.
And I mean, to be honest and transparent with my brand, my last 2 releases were from Green River. So, a 6-year and an 8-year. So.
That's what I was going to mention next was that Green River, like a lot of these companies are now sourcing from the Bardstown, obviously MGP, but everyone just assumes everything's from MGP now.
Yeah.
They don't understand that. Like, it's coming from Green River. It's coming from Bardstown. These distill, like, Green River, I think, is maybe 2 years old in the Missouri market.
Could be. Yeah. I mean, they've only been around for 5 years in the rebuild, right?
Yeah.
I mean, didn't they start? No, maybe
they reopened in 15. I
15,
think.
So 10 years. So so they've been around 10 years. I mean, they were obviously around way back in the day. They were the 10th distillery to get a license.
Yeah, they have the 10th oldest DSP.
Yeah, the 10th oldest DSP, but
kudos to that family for keeping that.
Correct. Yeah. And then, kudos to the crew that came in and revitalized that. We had the opportunity to do a tour down there. And it was
Ozzy Tyler and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So, well, talk to us, Joe. We got 4 picks here tonight that came from your store. Which one do you want to try first?
I like my Maker's Mark the best.
Ooh, I'm glad you went
there. What's that one called? What'd you call that?
So we called it Paradise on the Beach.
And so I had the opportunity to try this at Bourbon and Brews with Joe. I grew up on Maker's Mark. My dad was a diehard Maker's Mark guy.
Yes, he was.
And so I have a Maker's Mark sign over here. That's for my dad. I love Maker's Mark. The one I really want to get right now, and I don't know if you've seen it, is it just came out with it. It's a what the heck's it? It's they had it at Bourbon and Brews.
The Keepers?
No, it's oh geez, this is gonna drive me nuts.
Yes, sir. Thank you. 109 proof. Perfect.
Yeah, so my main objective with that one was keep it light in spices, heavier on the fruit note, something really easy. Yeah, something really easy to drink in the summer where it's not overbearing with the summer heat.
Sure.
So it pairs well on the beach, old fashions, while grilling, by the pool.
Love it.
All right, well, we're trying this. I'm looking this up so I can tell you.
Well, there you go. And then I got to ask you a question because my wife and I are huge. We go to Maui every single year. No, we haven't been in a long time because we have 2 young kids.
Yeah.
We've been to Maui probably 7 times. So I'm curious. I know your last name's spelled differently. Your last name's Maui.
Yeah.
And then, but your store is spelled as Maui, Hawaii. So what is there? Explain to people what the meaning behind that is.
Yeah. So my last name is Mawi, Maui, but my dad's always gone by Maui. Mm-hmm. And when he started his companies, it was always Maui.
Oh.
So to pay respects to him, because at the end of the day, like without the guidance of my dad and my uncle Jesse, I wouldn't be where I am. So I wanted to name it Maui's after him.
So is there any tie to Hawaii at all?
No tie to Hawaii.
So we have a timeshare there, so we're very tied to it.
And I leave July 4th. I'm going to Maui for 7 days, then to Oahu for another.
I still haven't gone.
Yeah, and we'll do a podcast on that when you get back and talk about your experience over there. So that'd be
cool. It's the cellar aged.
It's good stuff.
So I want to bottle that so bad, and you can't find it anywhere. They had it at Bourbon and Brews, but it was only for sampling. You couldn't buy it. Even though I asked Jeff Henley, can you sneak one of those for me? He said, I can't do that.
So they started that in 23, I believe. So I only gotten 1 bottle so far.
That's all you've gotten?
That's all I've gotten. I've done 2 barrel picks with Maker's Mark. Like, it is a really exclusive.
Yeah, it's a hard bottle. Even on the secondary market, you can buy it on secondary market, but it's like $1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Crazy.
outrageous.
But stuff like that should be allocated.
Sure.
The standard stuff, I can't stand being allocated.
Yeah.
No, this is really good though.
Yeah, it's
Something easy, something light.
So, do you have more bottles of this, or is this one done?
I think we got like 30 more bottles,
Okay.
30, 40 more bottles of that.
that's a great lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not too much heat,
Nope. Even for a nice,
but it's got a
109
nice,
proof.
but it's got a little spice to it, which is great.
Oh, you get spice?
I get a little bit,
Okay.
just a tad.
Just that.
You don't get any?
Mm-mm. I purposely went with the light one on that. Because on the French, even the roasted,
I get just a tad.
I guess that's the roasted French on there.
Yeah,
And the cuvee. That would give you that little
but it's
bit of
very
spice.
Definitely
light.
get the roasted French. I'm not sure too much spice, but
Everybody's palate.
Yeah, everyone's
palate's
different.
Yeah.
Give me something good.
I hate rye. He loves
I love
rye.
Yeah.
I'm starting to become a rye fan.
Starting to.
Start slowly.
He
We're gonna
said
work on 'em.
he says eventually I will become
You
a
will,
rye fan,
yeah.
but I don't know.
In the beginning, I was not a rye fan.
Oh, me neither, my
If
friend.
someone was like a rye single barrel, I was like,
Yeah.
nah, go away.
So if they come to your store, can they sample that before
Yeah.
they buy it?
So all of our single barrels are always up for samples.
Okay.
For me, like when I started going to other liquor stores, just seeing how they're laid out and learning, like it was very hard for me to sell that to someone for $69, $74, whatever it is,
Sure.
without having them try. Because, like you just said, you got a lot of spice out of it, or a little bit of spice.
A little bit.
I got no spice out of it. But for someone
Yeah.
who doesn't like spice at all, they're gonna be pissed they spent that kind of money and not over my.
But I'm not sure you like a lot of French oak stuff, though, either.
I don't. I
Yeah,
got
so I
Majors-
think that might
I
be
got Majors 46 up
why
there somewhere.
why
up
he's
here.
kind of getting that.
Yeah, that might be why I'm getting that.
Yeah, because I think it's really heavy on the 46 on that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so that might be why I'm picking
And I
it
love
up.
French oak stuff.
Yeah, well, it's not that I don't like it. It just I wouldn't be
It's
my
different.
yeah, it wouldn't be my like go-to, so to
Mhm.
speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, to your point, trust me. There's been times I've bought bottles that I wish I would have tasted beforehand. There's several up there that I wish I would have tasted beforehand. When we did the Green River tour, we went to a place called was it Barrelheads?
Barrelheads, yeah.
It was like this gas station,
Have you
but
been
like
there?
I heard of it when you're driving down to Kentucky.
yeah, it's like
Cool.
a gas station, but then they have this like badass bourbon bar / store
Mhm.
where they have, dude, I don't even know how many bottles of bourbon.
Open.
It was almost too much
Really?
to like take it
It's
all in.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming. And then they have this bar though, like if you want to sample anything, you got to pay for the pour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they got everything you want from Pappy 10 to Pappy 23, from
Yeah.
Purple Willet.
In the
That's
pours,
cool.
though, they're fair priced. I mean,
They
nothing
were.
was
They were.
overpriced. I mean, everything, like, if you want to try something, that's the place to go try it. And
Yeah.
we were there, and there's regulars there.
Yeah.
So, like, they
Yeah.
literally,
I mean, we
guys
come in
like,
every
we're here.
day.
Yeah, there was a guy sitting in the bar, and I was like, he was like getting behind the bar and pouring his drink. I was like, do you own the place? He's like, no, I just know the owner. I'm here like every day. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
No, some of my customers will do that. They'll reach over and get the little sample cup and pour them a little bit as they're
Yeah.
walking around. Jeff, mainly.
Henley.
Yeah, he did that. He did it to me at Bourbon and Brews because we did the allocation one, the
Oh, yeah.
Weller Full Proof, the
Yeah.
Rare Sport.
Yep.
And like whenever he got thirsty, he'd come right behind me, grab the bottle, pour him some, and walk away. And I'm like, all right, Henley, like that's my bottle. Come on, you're there. We're good, buddy. How's that?
That's what
Jeff's an awesome guy.
he is. I got that foolproof right there. It says.
Yep, that was the one.
He was
kept
on a
saying.
previous podcast with us
Mhm.
talking about
Yeah,
a couple
Weller
episodes
and all
ago.
that. So
And the
That's
story
all.
behind, how he came through all that.
Oh, with his dog saving him and
Yes.
everything. Like I got goosebumps hearing it because I
I
didn't
did
believe
too.
him at
We were
first.
sitting down here that night, and I was like, I'll buy a bottle. How much is it? He's like, $2.25. I'm like, I don't care.
Let's do
Here's
it.
my
and I
money.
bought one too.
Yeah, here's my money. And I went upstairs and told my wife the story, and she's like, oh, that's really cool.
What was the charity? I can't remember the charity that a good
For-
chunk of it goes
$50
to.
of each bottle goes back to some heart association
Yeah,
that
that's
he's
what it was.
one of his friends is a part of or
Mhm.
something. So yeah, anytime you're giving back, it's
Yeah.
you know.
So that was because Jeff told me if I want to sell some of his bottles at Bourbon and Brews, I could, but like
Mhm.
I was trying to make people understand like it's $225 because a good chunk is going to
Yeah.
charity.
Yeah.
But they were like, "No, you're full of shit." I was like, "All right, bro." Like,
Well, even if it was $175, that's
I
still
can't believe you do that.
That's still a good price for that.
$225, $250 is a great bottle because you're
Yes.
not gonna see that
no.
ever.
It's
No.
a shame that people even question you on that. Like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that was cool. But so are you? I guess are you involved in a lot of the day-to-day operations at the store? Are you
Yeah.
there a lot, or
So when I first got started, I actually worked 108 hours a week for 9 months straight.
Crap. Well, I guess it's better than 20 hours a day.
Yeah, it was a lot better. But at that time, I wasn't married. I was engaged. And I had my fiance was very understanding. She's the one who really pushed me to get out of the gas stations. And like even the first investor, like she gave $100. Like she'll hold that over my head for the rest of my life. Because of her $100 is where I am today.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I lived with my aunt because that was my childhood home. Because my dad and his brother.
Because you grew up here in O'Fallon. Right?
Yeah. They shared the home while we were growing up, and so it was kind of weird going back into that house living.
Yeah.
My cousin, he's 27, same age as me, 3 months younger, and we actually shared a room. And we're both engaged at 23, 24 years old, sharing a bed together.
Oh my gosh.
But because of my aunt, then I was able to work that kind of hours because, like, breakfast was cooked for me, dinner was cooked for me, my laundry was done, my bed was made, and I had no stress in the world besides just focus on this one objective I had.
Yeah.
But now, day-to-day operations, I'm still about 60, 70 hours a week in. But with my kid, it's a little bit harder.
Yeah.
So I try to push back as much as I can now. Because now we built the market, like just meeting you guys.
Yeah.
And Bourbon Society, Drew and James, and now Ambush, and I forgot, there's like 3 other people, like groups like we're involved with that kind of handle all of our marketing stuff just for us.
Yeah.
So I don't have to be 100% involved.
Yeah, well, that's great. I mean, right? That's part of working on the business, in the business, right?
Yep.
Bourbon Society is how you and I got connected.
Yep.
They were like, you got to go check out Maui's Liquor. I'm like, where the hell is that?
As if no one knows where we're at. We're like tucking in.
They're like in Cottelville. I'm like, I'm in Cottelville all the time.
Right next to the rack house.
Yeah, it's right next to the rack house. So yeah, it was pretty cool. So, so let's talk about the next bottle you got here.
So we can go with the Knob Creek.
Knob Creek.
So that's actually named after my daughter. So it's a Bonnie's batch. Or Bonnie's book, I'm sorry.
Super cool.
Yeah, so that was a Henley pick as well.
Or was it really?
Yeah, he helped me with that pick. Yep. Nothing to do with the Bourbon Society on this one, but he's like, dude, this tastes like a Booker's. This tastes like a Booker's. I was okay, cool.
He's a big Booker's guy.
Yeah, I didn't even have a name in my mind. He goes, oh, name it after your kid. And let's call it Book at the end. And I was like, okay. And it went through like a whole review process with Knob Creek because of Little Book Bookers.
Yeah. And
then it finally got approved and got shipped out.
Select in 2024. Barreled in 15.
Yep.
It's a 10-year.
Yeah, it was like 9 and 6 months or some change. Almost 10.
So I've got Little Book back here. I've got Booker's 24, Booker's 25. Booker's had a bunch of. They were at Bourbon and Brews. I had a bunch of bottles in there. They were only for the. Ooh, that came out a little too quick for me. So they had.
It's got a nice nose on it.
Yeah, like a whole section inside the little whiskey house in there, and Jeff was in there. He had his leg cropped up because he was like hurt himself. Right? I'm like, it's 9:30. I'm like, Jeff, what the heck, man? It's 9:30 in the morning. Right. We haven't even started drinking yet. But they had a really nice display Booker's had in there, and I like their stuff. Their stuff's pretty good.
They are really good at it, and like I don't know. Do you know the story on the? That's an Infinite one, right?
On the end, it's a Little Book. Yep.
So you know the story behind that? So it's actually 4 generations worth of barrels.
Oh shit!
Really?
Yeah. So like some of that is 80-year-old juice.
Holy cow!
That's probably why you don't like it.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said it wouldn't be like my go-to.
Yeah. So their what is it? Freddie No is his name, I believe. Yeah, like he knows like where his great grandfather's barrels are, his grandfather's, his dad's, and his, and then he takes a little bit from here, a little bit from there,
and makes a Little Book,
and then just makes a blend. No, just the Infinite barrel.
Oh, sorry, the Infinite. Gotcha.
Little Book's his own little project, but the Infinite barrels have some 80-year-old juice in there.
That's crazy to think of, man.
That's why there's no age statement on that one.
That's
compared
awesome.
to the other stuff. There's age statements. There's no age statement on that one.
Really cool.
If you're listening to this show, chances are you know your way around a good pour. But if you're ready to take your whiskey journey to the next level, let me introduce you to the Barrel Room Bourbon Club. This is more than just a club. It's a private community of bourbon lovers, collectors, and industry pros who come together to share rare bottles, swap stories, and connect over what we all love most, great whiskey and great people. At the Barrel Room Bourbon Club, we're building real relationships with fellow enthusiasts and with the folks shaping the future of the whiskey world, distillers, blenders, even the occasional barrel pick. Yeah, it's all happening behind those doors. I've seen it firsthand. Some of the best conversations and best pours happen in that room. Old friends, new friends, legendary whiskey. So if you're ready to be part of something special, visit barrelroombourbon.club.com to learn more and apply. That's barrelroombourbon.club.com. We'll see you inside.
So just typical Booker's on that one.
Yeah.
The caramel, vanilla, peanut brittle.
That's delicious.
It's really good. Honestly, I'm a fan of Knob Creek in general. I mean, for $56.99, Knob Creek 12 is definitely a fantastic whiskey to do. It's got a big red fruit note on it all the time, and I would buy it every day of the week, you know.
That's what you have to give them props to, is they're consistent.
Yeah, very consistent, yeah.
And they'll dump whatever they want to dump. Like, if it doesn't meet their standard, they just dump it down their drain.
It's crazy.
Because Beam actually was going to do a blackberry last year. And he literally tried it, didn't like it, threw it down the drain.
Is that the kind of mimic Crown?
Yeah, at that time. Yeah. At that time, there was Blackberry was the trend. Starlight released one, Crown, obviously that was the big one. And Beam was going to release one, and he didn't like it.
Yeah.
So we had it.
Well, so Russ does, basically a mead. It's a whiskey finished in a mead barrel from Burnt Barrel in Lake St. Louis. Yeah, and he does a blackberry and a plum. And man, that blackberry was freaking good.
It was delicious.
Yeah, we have like 3 or 4 of his products. We got the pickle, the lemon, and then there's another one
from Burnt Barrel.
From Burnt Barrel, out of Lake St. Louis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He's a good guy.
Yeah. So I think what was Russ saying, that is one of the only mead finished whiskeys he's ever heard of, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
That's what he was saying. So
I didn't pick up any of the whiskeys, but I know Rack House did.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we usually tend to do stuff like that where they carry half the line and we'll carry the other half, and see how it goes on both ends.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well,
it's cool. You guys can work together.
Mm-hmm. John's great.
Yeah.
If you want to sample some of that mead whiskey, we're having Russ at the Behind the Barrel event. Our Barrel Room Bourbon Club's first Behind the Barrel event is on July 24th at Lake Forest Country Club. You can go to barrelroom.com, barrelroombourbon.club.com, or our Barrel Room Facebook page. Tickets are only $10 if you're not a member of Lake Forest or the Barrel Room Bourbon Club. For $10, you're going to get to sample all sorts of different types of whiskeys from Blacksmith Distillery, as well as the blackberry mead and the plum mead whiskey.
Snow Day, which
is
Amberana finished, and Yellow Birch Day finished.
And he just won.
It's my favorite.
He just won an award on the Snow Day.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So, and they have the what award did he win for gin? Like, I'm not sure he'll be sampling gin, but he's like, they just won like #1 small distillery gin of the year.
Yeah.
Like something crazy that his brother's involved in somehow.
Yeah, it was a pretty big accolade. So
yeah, it was cool stuff.
Congratulations to Blacksmith and Russ and
shout out to them.
Michael Broker and John Broker. They're all owners in it. So
wait, Burnt Barrels and Blacksmith is tied in one?
So Burnt Barrel will take some of Blacksmith's barrels to finish his mead in.
Okay.
And then Blacksmith will take the mead back, or the barrel that he used for the mead back, and put whiskey back in it, and that's how he made this like blackberry whiskey.
Yeah, so
just used the barrel that mead was in.
He has the plum and the blueberry finished whiskey right now. Okay. Mead finish.
Yeah, and cool. it's delicious.
The blueberry one's really, really good.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. It was delicious. So
definitely call them out and get some samples.
And they were high proof too. I want to say they were over 110 proof each of them. So
that's good. So again, July 24th, Behind the Barrel at Lake Forest Country Club. If you haven't bought a ticket, I would suggest, because they're going fast.
Yeah, or sign up for the single barrel membership, which is $10 a month, and
you come for free.
Yeah. You come for free. So if you're a member of the single barrel membership, you get to come for free we're going to do once a quarter. We're going to do Behind the Barrel events. And then the last Thursday of every month, we do a bottle share at the Post in Lake St. Louis as part of the membership. And then with that $10 a month, you get enter into the blind bottle, which is a value of over $100. And then we will raffle that bottle off at our event
June 26th.
Yeah, June 26th. So,
Yeah.
And we do those blind bottles every single month.
That'd be cool.
Absolutely. Well, this is delicious. I like this Knob Creek.
Yeah.
A lot. And I don't have a Knob Creek on my shelf, so Joe, I guess I'm gonna be buying one of those from you.
Now you can keep that.
I mean, honestly, Henley doesn't fail you. So,
No,
he doesn't.
He's got a palate out of this world. Man.
He does. I mean, that's over 30 years of experience. So I mean, it
is.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he'll never force me
Really?
to do a pick. Like the way he sets it all up, he works with everyone that's there. So we'll taste everything. He goes, all right, guys, like, which one do you guys not like? So we'll get the majority going, and then we'll pop that out. But say if there's a debate between 1 and 2, he'll never be like, oh, this is the one you're picking. It's never.
That's kind of cool.
Because it's very humbling, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because he never has forced me. If I'm like, no, fuck, Henley, I don't like that shit. I'm going to take this one. He goes, okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do, but this is my opinion.
Yeah.
But luckily, like, he's taught me so much of tasting it and like getting all the notes and your scents that I've been learning a lot about my palate through Henley.
Yeah.
Well, he's definitely a bourbon mentor. For
Yeah,
sure.
Oh,
is,
for sure. And actually, same with Russ Blacksmith. I mean, we had him on our show, and he taught me a crap ton about how to, smell it, how to, taste it, and so yeah. But yeah, Jeff's got an incredible palate.
Just like at 15 stars, the guy was like,
Yeah.
eat this piece of chocolate, or no, not chocolate, it was that cinnamon cookie.
Cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
Well, he had chocolate chip cookie and a cinnamon roll?
Yeah.
Cinnamon roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
That they paired it with. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool.
There's always something to learn.
Mhm.
That's the thing that attracts me to bourbon so much now, is just the history, and there's so much more development and technology from back in the early 1900s, late 1800s that gets applied today.
Yeah, well, and so I told Kenny, like, when we decided to start this podcast, I was like, I love the history of it. So if you go back and listen to, like, our very first episode, we talked about the history of Barrel King, Green River, I think it was, and I don't want to the bottle. Like, the history behind it is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to really think.
We did Old Forester, too.
Old
I'm
Forester,
a big
yeah.
Old Forester fan.
And the history just behind, like, these brands are 150 years old.
Yeah.
And how they have went from that through Prohibition to where they're at now.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
It's impressive.
Have you gone to Maker's Mark yet?
Yes.
I've done oh yeah.
Have you?
Yep.
The thing that blew my mind was they're a multi-billion global company, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you don't see that foot traffic, everyone running around trying to get work done. And like from the heads up, from Ron Samuels all the way to the bottom, people that are just dipping the bottles, everyone knows each other. They know what they're doing that weekend. Everyone around that, like, because they own most of the farmland around there, and they know there's like generations of working on that distillery.
Yeah, and beautiful.
The grounds are beautiful.
Beautiful distillery.
I mean, like you said, a family culture is really what they're basically embodied around. So, which is kind of
the one I haven't done is Woodford, which I hear is also gorgeous.
Very cool. I mean, they literally roll the barrels as you're walking through the tour down the street to the Rick House. I mean, it's
cool.
Really cool. It's really cool. Yeah.
But Makers, you get to dip your own bottle, which is really freaking cool.
Yep.
I did that, and then I opened it and drank it, and it's gone now.
And that's where I got a white chocolate truffle pick from there.
Oh, did you?
Awesome. Yeah.
That's what I got 2 bottles of celery from distillery.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So basically, the way they do it is like a scavenger hunt at the shop.
Oh, really?
So if you ever look around, even if it's like way up top,
yep.
you just tell someone to grab it, and they'll grab it for you.
That's good.
Really?
Yeah, it's literally like in blind spots all around the distillery or the shop at the end of the tour.
Oh, wow!
So,
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Super cool.
That is cool. Well, I tell you what, we can try a new reef, or we can try this. I'm dying to try this because I've seen this.
Well,
everywhere.
I have had that before, and it's been very good. So I'm curious to see what a single barrel pick is like.
I never had this one yet.
No, I have Napoli of Napoli of C down on Fish Street. Is it Napoli of C or C Napoli? Next to the Napoli
on
down on Fish Street.
Oh, on
Napoli C is what it's called. Yeah, I had it there, but not a pick. So I'm curious to see.
So I didn't really get to pick this. It was literally like, do you want to do a High West pick? I was like, yeah. Well, only 4 are coming into the state. Okay, that's cool. This is what you're getting. They didn't give me a choice to
Gotcha.
figure it out what I want.
So I've never had any
Let's
High
finish
West
on a
product.
wine.
Yeah. So
A white wine barrel?
Yeah,
Is that
so
what
this
it is?
one's finished in the Sauvignon Blanc.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. And it's called Island Night Dram.
Yeah, so we tied it in with the Midnight Night Dram,
Yep.
Maui Island. Let's figure it out. Didn't go as well as I thought it would.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 'cause everyone thought it was a real High West pick, not a single barrel.
Oh, gotcha.
So I've never had any High West. They're out of Park City, Utah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
their burr rye is really good. So basically, a burr rye is a bourbon and a rye blended together, and
Well, that's kind
fantastic.
of what your rare character pick's coming out with.
Yes.
I guess tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. It'll get released. I think we're calling it Sunset Blend,
Yeah,
something like that.
it's got a cool logo on it. I tell you that.
Yeah,
It made me feel like I was going to Kenny Chesney concert on the beach.
Or out to your backyard to the pool.
Again.
I mean,
It's true.
That's beautiful back there.
you got Margaritaville back there, so it's perfect.
Well, not for long. My wife has put the kibosh on that. We got like 97 packages showing up here in the next few
Yeah,
weeks.
well, I thought you were having a moving sale today.
No, not moving. You know, Bob asked me the same question. He came over. He goes,
You were posting all that stuff online for Marketplace to sell, and I'm like, oh shit, he's moving.
yeah, Bob comes over. He goes, tell me you're not moving. I'm like, we're not moving. And there was a slimmer.
Dude, that's freaking killer.
There was a
Yeah.
slimmer of chance we were going
That's
to
good.
to Cottelville. 'Cause
Cottelville?
we're there every freaking weekend, man. I mean,
Mhm.
we're either at Frankie Martin's or at the playgrounds over there. We're doing something over there.
The only
check
reason
the
why I
college.
said that because he
So that's where we looked.
you talking about Cotterville Trails?
No. I know the Trails neighborhood, but I'm talking about Cottle Village Distillery.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
Stephen Savage.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I have not been there yet. Kenny's been a couple
I've
times.
been there a couple times. Yeah, cool place. We actually know the owners. My wife went to school with the owner's wife since second grade at St. Joe's Cotterville, so we've known them for years.
And
He was the previous owner of Midwestern and Start Bar and
Wheelhouse.
Wheelhouse downtown,
Mhm.
and so now he's no longer part of that. Went and branched out and started Cottle Village in Cotterville. So
and so I have Midwestern Wheelhouse. Shout out to Jared. They're clients of mine.
Mhm.
And then my wife works out with Emily, who he's referencing
Yeah.
at Burn Boot Camp in Cottelville like every day. So
Okay.
it's
I just haven't had a chance to get up there, but
Yeah.
I hear it's pretty cool.
small world like we talked about earlier.
Yeah, like
Everything's
everyone
so
knows
tight-knit,
everyone.
everyone
Yeah.
knows everybody,
What high school did you go to?
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
No, I met him once. No, I met him a couple times actually. And the first time I met him, he goes, "Hey, like this is my plan. This is what I want to do. This is our juice." He goes, "Let's do a store pick one day." I was like, "Okay." Like I couldn't even
Yeah.
finish my conversation with him. And he's like, "We're gonna do this, this, and this." I'm like, "All right."
Well, he's got a cool event coming up. Is it later this month or is it
It's with Horse Soldier.
with Horse
Yeah.
Soldier? He's got Horse Soldier coming in, which I mean, I got a Horse Soldier up there somewhere. It's great.
They have a cool
product.
story too.
They have a
you
great
know.
story.
Yeah.
Go ahead, you
The
tell it.
whole, I guess, basically, who started the brand was the four guys. They were Green Berets, and they went horseback after 9/11. So that's who started the brand. And
And then you tell me like at one time, and I don't know, maybe they still do it. Like the label, like was metal from 9/11 metal or something like that.
yeah, in the beginning, well, it may still be now, but they said a piece of every single label that ever you get on every single bottle is from 9/11.
I thought it was a Statue of Liberty.
Is
When
it
they-
Statue of
I
Liberty?
thought it was a Statue of Liberty when they did the restoration.
It
I heard
could-
that-
it
I heard
could
that
be-
too. I heard-
what I heard was a piece of every single label came from the buildings
Itself.
of the World Trade Center
Mm.
from 9/11. Yeah.
And they're the 13 strong, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was all coming back.
There were 4 Green Berets that went horseback after 9/11.
Yeah.
Well, their brand gets confused a lot with Four Brothers
They do. Yeah.
because the
They
Four
do.
Brothers is what somebody from each branch of the military
Mhm. Yes,
that
correct.
have their brand.
Mhm.
I
There's
was
also
talk-
4 branches too.
oh, that's what I'm talking about. 4 branches.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not Four Brothers.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 branches.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So
And yes, so they're from each different branch of the military. Yes.
But their stuff is good too. But this is like a vanilla bean
That High West pick is really
and like a
good.
dry.
Yeah.
that's
fruit
very
finish.
good.
Yeah.
That's really, really good.
Mhm.
Something easy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sauvignon Blanc barrel finish.
I don't taste Sauvignon Blanc, but that's a good thing because it tastes like flowers.
Yeah, but I mean, you get some of the sweeter notes from the
Yeah.
white wine.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's true. But I
So
wouldn't-
it probably kills a little bit of the spice or whatever you're getting from the whiskey
yeah,
and kind of tames it a little bit. So yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's really good.
Yeah.
So Joe, talk to us a little bit about now that you've kind of, met some of these like the Bourbon Society, and you've been working with the Rack House for a while, and marketing is, kind of taking care of itself,
Yeah.
so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself ever opening a second location? Do you see yourself expanding where you're at? Like, what's your vision?
So we're gonna try to open up more locations. We tried the last 2 years. I've been trying really hard. We had a deal going with a group of guys. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that didn't work out the first time. Second time around, same thing happened. It was a bigger location. Didn't work out for us again. But right now, we're kind of laying low because of the business itself. Right now, the liquor industry is kind of leveling itself out.
Mhm.
It is.
Prior to COVID, like during the COVID boom, now it's kind of leveling it down. And also with cannabis getting legalized in Missouri, that's $1 billion industry a year.
Mhm.
So it's pulling from somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's coming from us.
Yep.
So I feel like once all that stuff settles itself down, then dude, buying land right now is nuts.
Yeah.
And then dealing with the cities of some of these locations,
Like
Is it-
Wentzville?
yes.
Horrible.
So
Wentzville's very difficult.
you know where they're building that hotel?
Yep.
Mhm.
So all that land on that's Parkway still,
Yep.
right? So it was on sale. I was looking at the one right next to the hotel. And we got everything figured out. And they're like, hey, you want to talk to the city? And I'm like, sure, why not? Because we didn't sign any contracts, but it was just in conversations. Bro, the city had so many demands.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
You can ask Kenny about City of Wentzville. They're so
They wanted me to come to public hearings and try to state my case of what I wanted to do as far as being a full-blown distillery and all that stuff. And they're like, no, you need to be industrial, but you can come change the codes if you want to come to these public hearings and pay this money and this and that. I'm like, no, I don't want to be the example. I was like, so you're telling me I just go a mile outside of Wentzville in the Flint Hill, unincorporated, and do the same thing I'm trying to do here and not have to deal with any of this. They're like, yep. I'm like, perfect.
So
Thanks.
the
Thank you.
previous owner of my business went through the same thing in Cottelville. Because we're maybe 1,200 feet, or about 1,200 yards, away from the school and middle school right there on Highway N.
Oh yeah.
And the first
St. Joe's.
owner, Central and Sager.
Oh, yeah. Central.
Yeah,
French South Central.
Yeah,
right
Sager's
there.
a little bit further down.
Yep.
And the city approved his license and then kept it because there was so much people signing petitions against that liquor store being there, being so close to the school, blah, blah, blah.
It's 300 feet is like the minimum.
Yeah.
So for them to do that is crazy.
It was not really the city. It was the
people,
community,
yeah. No, the
and then the city got stuck with it. So that's like my biggest fear of starting a new project is like, how many problems I'm going to run into?
Yeah, I had.
Like there was another one in St. Peter's that we fell in love with. And I called the city, they approved everything, and they're like, but there's one thing. You need to get an engineer out there to figure out a new exit. And I was like, what the hell does that even mean? And they're like, with the traffic flow, you have to call an engineer. You got to figure out a new exit. And I'm like, okay. I called an engineer. He's like, yeah, it's going to be about $250,000.
Oh,
And I was like,
dude.
the budget's gone. Like, we're
yeah,
done.
no joke. Well, that's like, I don't mean to be bashing the city of Wentzville, but like, so this, like where we're recording this tonight is in the basement of my house. We have 270 homes in this subdivision, and by city of Wentzville standards, anything with over 100 homes has to have 2 entrances, 2 exits, right? Or basically,
Yeah.
And we have 1. But then the city approved to have Hawk Estates built in the back of our subdivision without putting another entrance in. And so we have all
That
those
traffic coming in.
concrete trucks and trash trucks and all this commercial equipment come through our neighborhood. They've destroyed our streetlights. They've hit people's mailboxes. They've destroyed our roads. Go on and on and on. And it's like, well, you got the standard of 100 homes or more needs, 2 entrances.
Yeah.
Well, I understand we were grandfathered, but when you go to open another neighborhood inside of our neighborhood, wouldn't you think that would be like priority number 1? It's almost like they don't think about like, we know what, before we do A, we should really look at C and make sure C works before we do A.
Yeah.
Just like last year, we had water issues because they built another subdivision and they tied into our water and was like, oh shit, we don't have enough water.
And they had to run a new main. Yeah.
It's like,
I remember
it's just
that.
like such ass backwards.
St. Cottelville Trails is going through that same problem right now.
Are they really?
Yeah, like there's a simple small shit where when they bought the property, They had an
It's all
agreement.
floodplain.
Yeah, well, they elevated that.
Yeah,
They haven't had any issues of that.
Yeah.
But they had an agreement, right? But then now all of a sudden they're talking about building from Highway K to Outer 364 to cut straight across their neighborhood.
Oh shit.
And they're like, "What? I almost paid X amount of dollars for this house. Why the hell am I going to do that now?"
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So the city does always play a role on
oh yeah,
where we're going to expand to.
of course they do.
But
But hey, you have to. I
The
mean,
Meadows
it's-
would be a good location for you.
the Meadows, maybe.
Oh, you
No?
saying was?
I haven't heard anything bad about Lake
They're
Stannis, though.
building. Well, like you see all the construction going on right
Yeah,
now.
it's built.
Oh yeah, they're
They're doing multiple like indoor golf courses,
Mm.
playgrounds, outdoor venues like Frankie Martin's. Like, I mean, it's definitely up and coming. I heard Barrel Blends was going out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they
I
really?
don't want to mess with them.
Yeah.
They run a great business.
Hey, what?
They run a great business.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've only been to the one in Valley Park, and it's a cool ass store. They got a
Mhm.
badass bar, golf simulator in the back. It's really cool.
Yeah, but nothing compared to Maui's Liquor. So.
Oh, thank you.
You can't beat the selection of Maui's liquor.
But
No, I mean the customer service at Maui's Liquors is always top notch. So I mean you can't beat anything like that. So like to
No.
me, that's more important than
Hands
whatever
down.
else bigger is inside the store.
Yeah.
I mean, the customer service to me is more important.
that's always been, well, my dad's mom was always fast, friendly service.
Mhm.
And like, my wife gets annoyed. She never understood why I don't have two phones. Because her brother always kept,
really?
her brother always kept two phones, a personal and a work phone.
That's a pain in the ass, though.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to
Yeah,
pay two
such a
phone
pain in the
bills.
ass.
Yeah.
But like 90% of my customers have my phone number. They're like, hey, you getting this in? Hey, you getting this in? And then I won't see my wife's text message because it was like 50, 60 messages below. And then she gets frustrated. But yeah, like you have to engage with these people and you have to understand what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And I have a really good friend, John. He started being a bourbon guy maybe 2 years ago. I figured out his palate, and then from there, he has never questioned me when I sell him.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
he just
Super
loves
cool.
it. So that like something we work really hard with me and my employee
Mhm.
is that we figure out what these people actually want to drink, and then from there we start suggesting them similar stuff. Like when I hired him, he was pissed because I made him take like a 3-hour class on bourbon.
Good for
Well,
you.
was that the same guy that was in there on Saturday?
Yeah.
I tell you what, he was amazing.
Yeah, he had to take a class to know
Good
what
for
a
you,
small
dude.
bag,
You
a
should.
single barrel, a rye mash bill, a sour mash bill, like all this stuff means.
Well, I mean, even for me, who I wouldn't say I'm like an expert by any means. I would say I'm like a novice, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, I walked in there on Saturday with my wife,
Mhm.
and I wanted something different. And he's like, "Well, what do you like normally?" And I'm like, "Well, that old Louisville right there is like top notch, man."
Yeah.
I'm like, "But I don't like a rye.
Mhm.
I like something with a little bit of a sweeter tone."
Mhm.
And he offered a bunch of different options, and I got a couple of them over here on the shelf over here, and he was just very engaging and like trying to understand how he could help me rather than just pushing a bottle.
Yeah, so that's one thing I've always taught him. It's like it's not always the $100 bottle you need to sell.
No.
It can be a $50 bottle. You
Yeah.
sell them and then get them hooked onto that bottle where they're coming back and taking care of you.
Well, and just the fact that they they appreciate the engagement,
Mm-hmm.
and because most stores you go into, I hate to call out Deerbergs, but or Schnucks or whatever,
Yeah.
you go in there, there ain't nobody helping you in there,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Right.
it's just different.
Yeah, and like I hate to say it, like I come from an Indian family, but the Indian stereotype of an Indian store, liquor store owner kind of sucks because then they hire people.
Mhm.
I'm not talking about Royals. Royals does a great job with their employees. On the Rocks does a great job with their employees. A1. But you go to any corner store here in St. Charles or St. Louis and say Indian ownership, they just point like, "You want
Yeah.
this? Okay,
Mhm.
thank you. Have a nice day."
In every firehouse, every patrol car, every ambulance, and every military unit, there's a bond forged in courage, sealed by sacrifice. At Fallen Brothers Crafted Spirits, we raise a glass to the heroes who never made it home. Crafted in honor, shared in remembrance. Each bottle of our handcrafted whiskey tells a story of bravery, of brotherhood, of lives lived in service. And with every pour, you're giving back. Because a portion of every bottle goes directly to organizations supporting the families of fallen first responders right here in our area. To the ones who answered the call, to the ones who still do, and to those we'll never forget, Fallen Brothers, Crafted Spirits. Raise one. Remember them. Available now. Drink with honor. Support with heart.
So let's pour up this new reef, but there's, while
Do you want to talk about it real quick?
you let Joe talk.
Yeah. So we're going to pour up this new riff. So, Joe, you want to talk about it real quick and let us know what?
So this is a Cooper's Reserve. So typically, for the audience that doesn't know, a barrel of French oak staves has to dry age for 12 months.
Okay.
You're probably very familiar with that. This one is actually dry aged for 24 months.
I love that.
So, and then it has a heavy char on it. So to me, it tastes like a barbecue pit. Just like a lot of smoke, a little bit of spice, a lot of sweetness, like you're talking about. The smoke sometimes throws people off, but sometimes like it really engages the customer because it's nothing like another new riff product in the market.
Huh.
Because I tried 6 or 7 samples. When you guys go to the new riff tasting with Jay, one of the co-founders?
I did not. I didn't make it to that. Nope.
But like he's the one who explained it all to me because at first when I tried 5 of them, I was like, dude, nothing's impressing me. Like I don't like it.
Yeah.
But when he popped this out, I was very happy with it just because it's so unique and different.
Sure. Cool. Let's check it out. This one's a 111.3 proof.
So while we're doing that, I want to, where I was going with this is there's a gas station off of Manchester and 141. It's a BP gas station. And I believe it's
On Clarkson?
Maybe it's Clarkson. It's right next to it is Clarkson. You're right. It's Clarkson in Manchester. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So they have Pappy anytime you want it.
Yep.
How do they get that?
So like the allocations get divided. So they get divided into restaurants, then individuals, then we got like individual C-stores like me, then it goes to gas stations. It goes off your Sazerac numbers. So gas stations are going to sell a lot of 99s. They're going to sell a lot of Fireball. They're going to meet that allocation mark to be able to get a Pappy in the store.
So I went in there. That Pappy right there is from there.
Uh-huh.
So somebody told me about this, and I was like, I want a bottle of Pappy. I don't know why. I just really wanted it. So I went in there. And I was like, I hear you got Pappy. And the lady behind the desk, she's like, yeah, we got 15, 23, maybe another one. And I was like, well, how much for the 15? She's like $1,000. I'm like, okay, I'm not looking to drop $1,000 right now.
Yeah.
I was like, do you have the 10-year? She's like, yeah, it's $4.99. I'm like, okay, that I'll pay. She's like, well, it looks like we're out of it. She's like, but I'll have another bottle here next Tuesday for you.
Holy shit.
And I was like,
damn.
Okay. And sure as shit, man, that following Tuesday, she called my cell phone. She goes, I got your Pappy here. I went in, paid $500 for it, and walked out.
Damn.
Like, I don't understand, like, how she can just make a call and get that.
I don't know.
I don't either. I don't
I'm
either.
not trying to get anyone in trouble, but there are ways to do something like that, but ATF would not be happy about that.
You definitely nailed it with the barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
Smoke, dude. It's like smoked pork belly.
Okay.
Like, it's like 100% what I'm getting, like that.
That's really
it's like
good.
an oily smoked
A little bit
pork
of
belly.
viscous.
I love a
spicy.
smoked old fashioned.
So that's like a
Great.
smoked pork belly, dude. Just straight
We
up.
were at, Kenny and I and my wife, before we went to 15 Stars, went to
That's good,
Napoli
dude.
3,
Mhm.
and I ordered a smoked old fashioned.
Oh, God.
Well, I'm not knocking Napoli 3 because
Ask
they're
them to go light.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just ask them to go light on the smoke because what they do is they use a liquid smoke.
Oh.
They don't actually physically smoke it.
Oh.
And so they pour liquid smoke into it. And the one I got, whoo!
Just stayed in your mouth the entire night.
You know,
Yeah,
I
you
felt
got
like
a couple more shakes on the glass.
I felt like I inhaled a cigar
Yeah.
and like kept it in my mouth for an hour.
So my wife ordered the exact same drink.
And hers was
So,
phenomenal.
Yeah, I tried his. He goes, dude, try this. I tried it. I'm like, oh, God, that's way overbearing.
Yeah.
And I tried hers, and I'm like,
Hers was
okay,
delicious.
dude, I go, Brian, try this one.
Yeah,
He goes,
and it was
okay,
delicious.
that's what I was
but
looking
the one I
for.
got
Yeah.
was like heavy
Yeah.
smoke.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do Harrisburg. That's why I'm not a Scotch guy.
Yeah.
The peat, the smoke, it gets
Mhm.
like this one is just like low tone of it. Like I love
It's
smoke
subtle.
old fashions,
This is subtle.
but if it's too bearing, like overbearing, I can't do it.
That's really good.
But
This is an
you want to know how
awesome.
much I sold that Pappy 10 for?
Huh.
$109.
Wait, what happened?
The Pappy 10?
Who did?
We do. We sell it for $109.
No, you don't.
Yeah, we do. Bourbon. We do a big bourbon raffle every year.
What's coming up?
Yeah, so we'll have the Christmas one.
So yeah, well, when I was in there, I
Got tickets for it.
got tickets for it.
Yeah, so if you spend $75, you get one ticket. If you buy any store picks, you get two tickets.
Okay.
I think I spent $300, so I don't know how many I got. Because,
We'll take care of you.
but Keith Collier, if you're watching this podcast, I'm in the middle of checking out. Your employee's like trying to ask me questions on these tickets.
Yeah.
Keith's calling me, asking me about how he signs up for Behind the Barrel. And I'm like so confused. So my wife took care of it. I'm like, did you do that right? She's like, I think so.
So we only ask for your first name and last 4 digits.
Oh, then you got me.
Yeah, that's all we ask
All right.
for. So basically what we do is I'll drop like random allocations and we only charge MSRP because I don't believe it. Like I could, like they screwed you for $500 straight up, all right? I could do that to someone. But you're not going to come in there to get your Tito's, your Woodford, your Fireball. Like that's where I'm going to make my real money.
Sure.
So again, going back to the Bourbon Society, that's where I kind of learned like people do appreciate when you sell it at Eagle Rare for $39.
Yeah.
100% they do.
People appreciate when you sell the Blands for $79 or $69. It was $59 back then. Now it's like $69,
Yeah.
$79. But that's the concept I came with. Was like, okay, like this is going to help me with my allocations. I'm going to meet my maker's mark quota for the year. I'll get a seller age. I'm going to sell it for $159, but you have to get tickets into the raffle. We call your name, you select whatever bottle, you get MSRP pricing. Doesn't matter what it is.
That's sweet.
George T. Staggs, we sell for $129. The Handy's $129. Hopefully we can get an EHB Tech collection this year. That'd be
That'd be killer.
$129 as well.
But no, you're right. I mean, I forget the gas station I'm talking about. Like, there's a store in O'Fallon, I won't name names, but you go in there and you go to try to buy a bottle, and they got like all these really high-end bottles back behind the shelf.
Mm.
And actually, Keith, who's
I know what store it is.
yeah, Keith, who's probably he will listen
By
to
my
this.
fire station.
He he went in there, and I could think he tells the story better than mine, but he had like 3 different bottles he went to the cash register to buy, and then says, "Oh, how much for that bottle?" And I don't remember what the bottle was. Let's say it's E.H. Taylor single barrel,
Yeah.
and they said some ridiculous price like $500, and Keith was like, "Okay," and he walked out and didn't buy the 3 bottles.
Yeah.
And the person working goes, "Well, don't you want these 3?" He goes, "I'm not going to patronize a store that's going to charge 10x on a bottle of bourbon.
Yep.
I'm going to go to somebody who sells it, at a fair price."
Do they have a sign that says "Do not take pictures"?
Yes.
Okay. No, what are you talking about?
Like, for example, Joe doesn't do that, but like that store you're talking about, literally, like I had that same conversation with them, and they're like, "Well, we do this because it attracts people to come to our store because they see what we have." So they'll tell their buddies, and they're like, "Oh, we got all this stuff in the back on the back shelf," but guess what?
Nobody's
It's
buying it.
way overpriced, but they're like, "Yeah, we don't care. We just want people to come in the store."
Just look at
But I'm like, "Listen, do you understand that that's going to keep me from coming in your store?" So
Yeah, I might get in there once and then I'm never coming back because I see how overpriced you are on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which in the long run is the reason why we support Joe and Maui's Liquors, because that's the complete opposite.
Opposite effect.
Like the morals and the values of his store are not that.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
And the whole allocation system is bogus. At the end of the day, like thankfully they're slowly getting off that allocation craze that they're on. Like Sazerac Rye 2 years ago, you couldn't even find it anywhere. Now it's every day, but still,
it is, yeah.
Thankfully, we still sell we'll sell 24 to 36 bottles of that every month.
Oh, really?
Good.
Even though
Good for you,
it's a $29 bottle, but it's still a ring.
Yeah.
Like someone can come in, let's just say they buy one of these store picks, we just try, and they see a Sazerac Rye, $29. They're still going to pick it up.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't just decrease our sales, or increase our sales when we have to allocate a Sazerac Rye.
Yeah.
Or a Blanton's or Eagle Rare. Like if I have it on the shelf every day for $40, I'm going to sell at least 2-3 bottles. It doesn't matter if someone has a whole stockpile.
Right.
I'm still going to get the everyday guy to come in to get a bottle. For every occasion.
And, your business model is not just, you have a variety of different stuff in there, right? Like you can come in and buy a 6-pack of beer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're going for the repeat customer, where some of these stores are like trying to sell a $500 bottle of Pappy and know that'll never come back, but I got my $500 bottle.
Yep.
It's a much smarter business.
But the thing is, some of these stores will get themselves in trouble with these allocations.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Like if they go to Sam's Club, Costco, whatever, they fucking pick it up and they put it in their store, or they don't meet the quota, and then they buy $10,000-$15,000 of that one product, and then they're just sitting on it. That's how they try to justify it.
Sure.
Like, I got to spend this much money to even get one bottle. Like, thankfully, with my vendors in St. Charles County that I deal with, both Southern Glacier and Breakthrough, it's very simple. Like that Heaven Hill, the Old Fitz 7-year.
7-year.
Yeah. So I talked to my guy. I was like, hey, how are my Heaven Hills number looking? They're like, not the best. I was like, okay, what's going on? They're like, you kind of just decreased in Elijah Gregg, you decreased in Larson this year. Let's figure that out. I said, okay. And he's like, you're probably not going to get it the first round.
Sure.
But you're going to get it the second round. Okay. What else? I'm not going to sit there and like, how much am I off by? To get 6 bottles to make $50-$60 on.
Well, and to your point, that 7-year-old Fitz is going to be
it's going to be an
everyday bottle.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got that.
It is good though.
It is good bottle. It's good juice.
Yeah.
Kenny and I have a connection, and I got him a bottle and me a bottle.
Yeah.
Mine's not open. His is open. We tried it the other day.
It's
a great bottle, but to your point, why would you go moving? Making things happen.
Yeah.
That bottle is going to literally be on the shelf at every freaking store in 6 months.
So don't buy a secondary.
No, I mean it's going for $700-$800 secondary, and it is not worth
silly
$700-$800. It's
silly.
worth. I mean, I think we paid $51 for it.
Yes.
Larceny barrel proofs are a lot better.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's still only 100 proof.
Right.
Same distillery.
Yeah.
Yep. Bottle and bond. Yeah. So wait till it becomes available all the time at Maui's Liquors and pick it up there. So that's the big thing. So because it will be at some point. So
this fall.
Yeah.
They're saying it should be an everyday product by this fall. Right now, they did a soft launch to see how the Missouri market will react to it, and now they're gonna place their real order for this fall.
Sweet. Yeah.
Sweet.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, Joe, on behalf of the Barrel Room Bourbon Club and Barrel Room Podcast, we appreciate what you're doing for our community, man.
Thanks, Joe.
you,
Appreciate it, buddy.
Let's cheers. You gotta get a little something.
You gotta get a little something.
What
I'm
would
gonna
you
do
like
the
to
new riff because that was good.
I still got some.
No, actually, you know what? Let's do it in honor of his daughter.
Let's do that.
Yep. Love that. That's
And
a
Knob
hell
Creek
of a
is killer.
barrel- Yeah.
It's very good.
Oh, a barrel pick name. Love it.
How old is your little girl?
She is. I just spilled that all over.
That's good.
She is gonna 8 months now. She's about to be 9 months
That's
next week.
cool, man.
Well, I got a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old. Baylor in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Father's Day was obviously just a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And I realized, I'm very career focused, money focused.
Mm-hmm.
The best job is being a dad.
It really is.
It really is. It's, when I worked all day today. My wife had all the cousins out in the pool, swimming, having a good time. And then I had to go to Lit for a meeting and got back home and went upstairs to tell my daughter good night. And just the way she looks at you when you walk in the room,
Yep.
like you don't realize, like sometimes I take it for granted, like how important I am to her.
Yeah.
So when my daughter was first born, I looked at my wife and I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get, like, I love this baby more than anything in my life. I can't live without her. I'm like, I don't get it. Like, it took me a minute to get that full fatherhood bond.
Yeah.
Me too, by the way.
Well, 0 to 6 months is a very tough period for a dad, I think. Truly. Like, that's like a learning curve that you're like, holy cow, man, this is horrible.
Yeah.
Like, and I hate to be that way, but after 6 months, man, I realized, holy cow, this is a really cool experience.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I have a 3 and a 6-year-old, and for me, man, this is awesome. Like, I took my son to golf this morning, and I'm sitting there watching him develop and grow in that sport, and I'm like, this is freaking cool.
It's the small things. Like, now she can stand by herself. Yeah, she'll fall after 5 seconds. Like, holy shit, I saw her do that.
Yeah.
It honestly is the greatest thing. Like, after a long day, like at work, if I'm stressed out over bills or whatever, like, seeing my kid just laugh because I walked in the door just changes everything.
It does. It does, for sure. So, to Maui's Liquor and to Joe Maui.
And the barrel blends. Not barrel blends.
Barrel blends. Barrel
blends. My bad, guys.
And the
bad.
barrel blends.
And a barrel
Bourbon
blends.
Club.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
That's perfect.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast, Barrel Room Podcast, on Facebook. You can also find us on the barrelroombourbon.com, our website, barrelroombourbon.com.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out. We got memberships available for our Barrel Room Bourbon Club, $10 a month. You can be a single barrel member. You get access to the blind bottle every month, free access to the behind the barrel events we have once a quarter. If you want to just join as a free member, there's free member options where you can join our bottle shares once a month at the post. It's just all about bringing the community together to have good pours of bourbon, share in camaraderie, build friendships and relationships. So check us out and follow us and subscribe.
And to touch on him real quick, you can also support our podcast for $1 a month. So
you just go to Barrel Room Bourbon Club, pay $1 a month. That helps cover some of the costs that we've put into this this show. So we appreciate you guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
That's cool.